Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to start and scale a thriving virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 86, What We Learnt from 2021.
And we've learned a lot. It's been a year. 2021 was a year. By the way, Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here in the new year of 2022.
Woohoo! 2022. I feel like I've been saying it and typing it so much the past few months anyway, that 2022 just seems right. Like it doesn't seem odd. It just rolls off the tongue. It, types out really quickly. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I think everyone is ready to say goodbye to 2021, aren't they? And we in this episode, we wanted to go through kind of the lessons that we learned from 2021, but also touch on some highlights too, because I think it's important to celebrate, even though 2021 was a difficult year, there are still things that we can celebrate and be grateful for.
Yes, absolutely. And our good friend Tracey Hancock, who is one of our co-coaches over in your Success Lab, she says something that we just love. And it's when it comes to taking some time to look back, whether it's the year, the last week, the last month, whatever it is you're looking back on, it's really important to do so with curiosity and kindness. That's her kind of little saying, her little catchphrase that she uses. And it's just beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because there's no use beating yourself up about like what went wrong or what you didn't do or, anything like that. It's, hey, let's make the best of what happened and learn something from those lessons so that we can kind of keep improving year on year and have a better year each year.
That's the key, isn't it? I think one of the keys to growth is to be able to look back and learn. Because without learning, aren't you just going to fall into the same patterns and do the same behaviors and say yes to the same types of things that possibly you should be saying no to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And let's start with our highlights. So for everyone, for you listening, have a think about 2021 and what was your kind of biggest highlight?
This is an easy one for me. Really, really easy. It was the New Zealand Virtual Assistant Awards that we created and hosted. And it's my highlight for a number of reasons. And that's the thing. I think when you do look, this is something kind of a little planning tip, is when you do look back, and whether it's your highlights and your lowlights, it's not just a thing, is it? It's easy for us to go. It'd be easy for me to go, a highlight for me was the awards, and then stop. Let's delve a bit deeper into why that was one of my biggest highlights. And for a number of reasons. Number one would be it absolutely pushed me well and truly past my level of comfort zone. Like I couldn't even see that little bubble that I'm comfortable in. It was long gone in terms of me having to be on, it was a virtual stage, but it was still a stage, performing, so to speak, speaking in public. Like none of these things come naturally to me. So I have to work really hard at accepting those opportunities and saying yes. And, when one of the things when we first started talking about the awards, we knew that was going to be a part of it. Plan A was an in-person event, and Joe and I, we were going to obviously be expected to stand up and say a few words. Lockdown happened here in New Zealand. Plan B happened, so we had to take the entire event virtually in a remote space, which is where we're comfortable anyway. However, this meant that all of a sudden, our plan A version of doing like a 5-minute speech went into, we were kind of on camera for how many hours?
It was 3 hours, I think.
3 hours. 3 hours. And for an introvert, that's a lot of energy in terms of being on. It's still me that everybody's seeing, but it's the on version of me, and it takes energy. So that's, gosh, I rambled, but that that was one of the reasons why it was a highlight, just in terms of it really, really pushed me out of my comfort zone. And whenever that happens, as horrible as it feels at the time, like you feel absolutely sick to your stomach doing it, and the lead up to it was awful that week. Oh, I don't think I had one full meal. I just couldn't finish it with food. You feel so amazing afterwards.
And that growth that you felt, right?
Exactly. So this year, when we do the awards again this year, or even the summit in a few weeks, I'm going to feel those same kind of nerves. It's going to happen, but they're lesson. Each time I do it, it's less and less and less. It becomes easier and easier and easier. So yeah, definite highlight. There's a few other reasons, but I spent so much time talking about the first reason that was a highlight. I think we should just go on to your highlight now.
Yeah, my highlight is also really easy, and this is that my virtual assistant business, which is an agency, is now running without me day to day. So I don't have a role there anymore. I have a GM and I have a client success manager who pretty much run as the leadership team, the business now, and it is the best feeling ever. This is the thing that not in the first year I ever thought that was possible, but as I built my businesses was always the point that I wanted it to be at, where it could run without me and really feel like I had the ultimate in control, flexibility, and freedom. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. And for anyone listening, thinking that you want to have an agency too, it took me 9 years to get it to this point. So it takes a lot of time and effort. But I commend anyone who's wanting to really push themselves to get their business to a point where it can run without them. It takes a lot of work. I still have oversight. I still am there supporting the GM, answering questions, strategizing things with her. But yeah, it's a great feeling. I absolutely love that I'm now at this point. So yeah.
Congratulations. It's huge. It's massive. Absolutely massive, both in business and in your personal life. This the knock-on effects that then has. So what now? If this is kind of like been your goal for 8-9 years and you've reached that, what next?
I know. I don't know what's next. I think it's like thinking kind of off the top of my head, continuing that growth. We've got a few other kind of key roles that we want to bring into the business to help support that growth, bring in some more team leaders. Because there's a few too many people reporting to one person right now. So just, I think refining, really having a think about what we can specialize in too is probably a next step, which is quite hard when you have so many services on offer and lots of team members. But I think that would be really good for us if we can really like kind of streamline some things, get really great at some things. There's always improvements. A business is never perfect, right? There's always things you can improve on. Systemizing, getting those packages sorted and kind of the process for website projects. Like this is the templated process and these are all the questions that you have to answer in the initial session with the client, and really like figuring that stuff out and having that documented is the kind of next step for us.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So that's my highlights.
And that's a great one. Should we go on to our lowlights? Remember, we're doing this with curiosity and kindness. We're not going to beat ourselves up about it, are we?
Mm-hmm. You go for it.
Okay. No surprise. Low light for me was our lockdowns. Our lockdowns here in New Zealand. We had 2, or here in the Waikato. Anyway, we had 2 main ones. And yeah, I had great plans. I thought I was going to absolutely kick lockdowns butt this year. Last year, sorry, I'm getting confused with the years that I'm in now. So 2020's lockdowns It was tough, but there was definitely room for improvement with me. So I'd always said to myself that if we would ever go into an extended lockdown again, I was going to do it completely differently. I was going to put myself first. I wasn't going to kind of like push the kids to do the schoolwork. I didn't want the daily fights and the dramas that we were having. So I was just going to like take a step back and just go, hey, let's just try and enjoy the time that we've got as a family. So when we got the announcement that we're going into lockdown again in 2021, I was actually quite excited about it because I had this plan. I'd had like a whole year to figure out what I'd do differently. But for some reason, my brain just wasn't with me. It just wasn't with me. And no matter what I did, it just wasn't going to be with me. So I really mental health wise, I really, really struggled, but, luckily, you and I, Jo, our communication is really good. So as soon as it kind of felt that it was really starting to affect work to a serious degree, like we had a chat and you were so incredibly supportive. I'm like, yep, whatever you need, we'll get it done. We'll take everything off your plate if you just need time off. I don't think either of us realized how much time off I would need.
Oh no, it was fine. But in those times you've got to do what your body tells you, right?
Well, I was no good to anybody. No good to anybody that, and I possibly spent a little bit too much time on the couch, but I'm not going to beat myself up about that because at the time my body and my brain just needed to absolutely have no expectations on it. I couldn't even answer questions. Like I was just brain dead basically. But it's really interesting. It got to the point, and this, Jo, that I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I need to call the doctor and have a remote doctor appointment. Like maybe I'm really depressed. Maybe I need to go on antidepressants. I haven't ever had to do any of that before, but because I was in such a low place, like I was really worried that coming out of lockdown, I wasn't just going to bounce back. Like this was something that I was going to need some external support in getting back to 100% Sam again. But it was so strange. Literally that first week out of lockdown, the kids were back at school and it just happened. And you said it would. You were like, no, just wait and see. I reckon it probably is just lockdown. Just wait and see. So I did. And yeah. So funny. So interesting. Definitely.
I remember I remember checking in with you and I was like, when was the last time you actually left the house? And you were like, I don't think I've gone outside other than like looking after your dog. Yeah. But was it, how long was it that
I think it was 3 weeks. I think there was a 3-week period where literally I did not go as far as the end of my driveway. And so that then, once again, I've never had social anxiety. I've never had whatever that is when you feel as though you can't leave the house before. But it starts kind of like the thought of then going outside and meeting somebody out on the street or going into a supermarket, that started getting a bit terrifying, which was a worry. I'm like, oh my God, well, once again, this is not me. I've never been afraid of crowds. They're not my favorite place to be hanging out in. I've never been afraid, you know what I mean? I've never been afraid to go out before. So, all these things start spiraling and it wasn't good. 3 weeks without leaving the confines of the property probably didn't help things. But when you're in that space, it's really hard to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the hard thing too with the lockdown for you was that you didn't know when the end point was this time. Previous lockdowns it was it's going to be 4 weeks and it maybe went to 5 or 6, but you kind of knew.
This just one kept on getting extended and extended and extended. Like each week it was a different kind of, we'll check back in next week. And I was talking to Tracey Hancock, who we mentioned earlier on, and she knows me really, really well. And she called me out on it. She was like, we've done a live because that was important that I still showed up to our commitments, our showing up commitments. So that didn't change. And so I had a live with her in our planning group. and did the live. It was all fine, kind of, pressed the stop button. So we weren't like recording anymore. And she kind of just leans into the camera and she goes, "Are you okay?" And it's really interesting because Joe, you checked in with me that very morning and said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah, no, all good. And I went to kind of go that usual, yeah, everything's fine. And then she just like looked at me and kind of came into the camera even further. It's like, "No, Sam, are you really okay?" And then that was it. I was just like bawling. I was like, "No, I'm not okay."
You try and hold it in, don't you? And yeah,
try and be the strong one all the time. Try and be the one that kind of carries all the worries for the entire family. For sometimes, like at that point, it felt as though there was at times I was carrying the worries for the entire virtual assistant community here in New Zealand, which is ridiculous because I wasn't. Like no one else had that expectation on me, but that's just what your mind does. Didn't want to let anybody down, whether that's in a professional or a personal aspect. So yeah, had the meltdown with Tracey, and she gave me some really, really good advice because she was like, "Well, what is it about this lockdown? What is it that you're struggling with the most?" And it's exactly what you said, Joe. It was like, I just don't feel as though I've got any control over anything at the moment. And I need that control in my life in order to feel that there's a nice routine and everything's running smoothly and I've got a plan. So to me, like I thought I was just losing the control. And it wasn't until I think we must have chatted for about an hour. Bless her heart, Tracey. I probably took all of her time away from her that morning. But she after talking it through and round and round and round, came to the kind of conclusion that it actually wasn't necessarily a control thing. It was that I just felt really unempowered. Like I'd lost all power and it was up to me. I could then bring it back. I could absolutely bring it back. So it was about finding something in my life, no matter what it was, that I could do in order to feel empowered again. So for me, that was going, all right, so the government isn't going to give me an end date as to when this lockdown's happening. I'm going to give myself my own end date. And if we come out of it sooner, well, then that's just going to be a bonus. So I gave myself my end date for the lockdown was Christmas. So Christmas, we're going to be in lockdown till Christmas. So I'm going to start ordering all my Christmas presents online. I'm going to start preparing for a remote, lockdown Christmas. And that just helped. Just immediately, I just felt so much lighter because I had taken back power. I wasn't waiting for somebody else to tell me when lockdown was finished. I was just going to tell myself, like, this is the date. And then, awesome. like 2 weeks later, then, we obviously weren't in lockdown till Christmas. And so it was great. It was an absolute huge surprise. And it was the best news ever that we were coming out when we did, which was September.
Isn't that incredible how you kind of flipped the power around and you then made it like amazing and a like special surprise when you came out of lockdown?
Yeah, and it was
always waiting.
Yeah, it was so much of a surprise. I remember because Mum was here. That's the other thing that was part of it. I kind of extended our bubble to include Mum, who had been really reluctant to do that because of who was in her bubble. But I thought, no, for everybody's mental health in this bubble, we need to kind of pop it a wee bit and expand it. So she was here. So she was helping with the kids, and we were watching the announcement. And my jaw just dropped when they said, because I had Christmas in my head. I was going to be in lockdown till Christmas. And then I cried because I was so fucking happy. Sorry, Joe, you're going to have to put explicit on this one now.
I am.
So low lights. And there's even a bit of a lesson learned in there as well.
Oh, well, I'm so pleased that you are through that now, Sam.
So am I. How about you, Joe?
All right, my low light was getting to a point where I had said yes to too much and it had all piled up on me and I had like a week of hell, a week of feeling like I could never get to the end and I was working way too much and I was like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not how I've designed my life. And that was really, really tough, which kind of leads into the lesson learned that we're going to talk about soon. But yeah, I said yes to too much stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't reset timelines or, talk about it. I just wanted to get it done, which was, not in hindsight, not the right thing to do.
You can only do that so much, right? That's not sustainable long term. Just going, yes, 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 it'll get done. Because at some point it just stops getting done. And then, we broke you. We broke you, Joe, that week.
I actually did say and admit that I did break that week. Yeah. If I've ever been close to burnout, that was it.
Yeah.
That was definitely it. So if we go a little deeper with that, I kind of realized after that I do have control over everything, almost everything in my life, right? So yes, external things happen and government announcements or whatever, like those are things that you can't change, you have to deal with. But what you say yes to, what you say no to, what you commit to, what you put into your weeks, how busy you are, is all in your control. And it's kind of really hard to admit or take ownership of that and realize that you have caused that.
Yes.
And you can control it, which is quite tough because we kind of like to blame or think that other people are the cause of things that aren't comfortable in our lives.
It's easier. I think it's easier to blame an external force or person or whatever than it is to delve deep and go, oh, you know what? It's on me.
Yeah, so much of our life is on us. And how busy that busy thing, I read about that quite a lot, that we've glorified busy. Like you go to the supermarket, the one question they say is, oh, have you had a busy day? And every time I stop and I go, no, actually I haven't had a busy day. I've enjoyed my day and it's been relaxing and I've done what I wanted to do. Because you kind of feel bad if you say, I'm not busy. Oh, am I not earning enough? Am I not doing enough? Am I, not this or that?
Am I lazy? If I'm not being busy, does that mean I'm lazy?
Yeah. Or I don't have great things going on in my life. No, actually, we've designed our lives. I hope you listening too, design your life to be not busy, but productive, working on your goals, spending great quality time with family, doing the things that make you happy or bring you happiness instead of this glorified busyness. So I keep reminding myself that busy is not a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you can, there's an unhealthy type of busy, right? Are you busy, or are you using up the hours in your day productively and with things that fill you with happiness? Or are you just getting caught up in that daily grind or that hustle? That's another word I hustle, don't like.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. All right. Highlights and lowlights.
Leads in really well to lessons learned, doesn't it? My lesson is linked in very much with my low light, with that really low point in lockdown. And that was showing vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's in fact, if you're brave enough to really show your vulnerability, especially publicly, then you're potentially giving strength to somebody that's sitting there thinking or feeling or experiencing exactly what you are, who up until then thought they were the only one.
Yeah, people really connect with vulnerability and you being real, because we see so much fake stuff online, don't we? We only hear, what is it, the highlight reel is what we see on social media with other people's lives. It's a trap, isn't it, to think that everyone is so successful and everyone is doing so great. and everyone is experiencing these amazing things.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's hard though. It's hard. So, and this lesson came from in the middle of lockdown once again, and we were doing our regular weekly live. I think this one, it was inside the members club. So it was in a smaller, intimate group with people that for the the majority of them, like I feel as though I know really well now. But even then, like showing that vulnerability, because I wasn't good. This was the day I had the meltdown with Tracey. So I'd gone on the live with Tracey. We'd had this breakthrough, this meltdown. That was the lowest of the lows. And I literally then had to hop on a live with you, Joe, inside the members club. And so kind of entered this room with Joe. And Joe could see immediately that I wasn't in a good place. Is everything okay? No, it's not. Started crying again. I think we had about half an hour before we were due to go live. We had a little bit of a lead-in time. So we chatted and I cried. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know whether I should go live. Like, I'm just going to bring everyone down. Like, the energy won't be the same. It won't be the Sam that they're used to seeing. The higher energy Sam with the smile on her face and the twinkle in her eye. I don't know if that Sam can show up today. And you, gosh, I can't remember the exact words that you said, Joe, but it was basically, no, you should do it. You should absolutely do it. You won't be the only one feeling this.
Yeah.
Do it. And my concern, I said, well, what if I end up just crying the whole, like I'm going to start crying again. My worry is I then can't stop. Like, are you okay to then carry that? And you're like, yep, not a problem. We'll do it.
And I just knew that there would be members who were also in lockdown and also feeling exactly the same way. And the feedback that we got from everyone was just like, oh, thank you so much for being so real, and I'm feeling exactly the same way, and I'm really struggling and I'm not okay. And you made it okay for everyone to not be okay and for them to feel like that and feel the support from everyone and actually admit that and talk about that. So
yeah. So spoiler alert, I did end up crying, and I think for the majority of it I didn't say a word after that. But yeah, the support was amazing, and there was people reaching out to me afterwards, private messaging me and stuff as well, and which was really, really lovely. There's still a part of me that was going, oh gosh, it's this group of women is just unbelievable. They're so amazing, and I just love spending 2021 with them. But I wonder if deep down somebody will be judging me. That's always a concern, right? And I think that's why a lot of us don't show the real us, don't show the vulnerability, don't show our true authentic selves, because we're concerned about being judged.
But you know what everyone actually is doing is saying, wow, you're so brave. And thank you for being vulnerable. And I feel the same way sometimes. And you are a real person and you're real. And so I can have a successful virtual assistant business because I feel like I am the same as you. And, I'm pleased that we do show vulnerabilities in those groups and online and here on the podcast too.
It's important. It's really important. I think if we weren't both on the same page in terms of how important that is to us both, that we are ourselves 100% of the time, like I don't think this partnership would work. Like it wouldn't work long term. Like if one of us was kind of like holding back or didn't like the certain things that the other one did, like that's not going to work, is it?
Yeah. Nope. Definitely is not. So the lesson there for you listening is don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And to show your true self online and be real, because people will absolutely connect to that.
They will. All right. How about you, Joe? What was your lesson learned for 2021?
Well, my lesson learnt for 2021 is going to be very obvious. Not to think that I can do it all and can handle everything and be super over ambitious about what I can achieve in a certain time frame, what I can cope with. There's no need for us at this point to be pushing ourselves so hard to that brink of burnout.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am going to commit this year to really stopping and thinking about what I say yes and no to. And you and I, Sam, we've actually done some planning and we had a look at our schedule for the year to figure out what is actually achievable when we realized that another big launch of something wasn't going to be possible. And we also already have such a packed calendar for the year to bring to you, lovely virtual assistants listening. So we rejigged something, reduced kind of the workload for it, and pushed it out. So yeah, it feels good to actually stop and think about that schedule, that time frame, what we're going to be doing and achieving this year.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, we're our personality types mean that we have lots of ideas and we get really excited with new things. And so I think that especially last year in 2021, that was, I don't want to say downfall because that just seems like, very, very dramatic. So it wasn't necessarily a downfall, but it's something that we absolutely need to take into this year coming. Because there is only so much of us. And something that I think everybody listening should be reminded of is we have support. Like it's not as if we do everything by ourselves. Like we've got a team around us that help us on a daily basis with lots of a variety of different tasks. So it's not as if we do everything ourselves. So even if you have support around you, you can still get to that point where you're burnt out. Even with the support, you're burnt out.
Yeah. So really keeping your why front of mind, right?
Yeah.
Why did you come into this business? Often it's because you wanted control, flexibility, and freedom. And if you say yes to too many things, those things absolutely go out the window.
They do.
So keep those in mind when you're thinking about what you're going to commit to this year.
Yeah. So there we go. I know we've spoken about it off air as well, Joe, but let's commit to it again. Nothing else new for 2022.
That we do have some new things coming for you listening, but they
nothing else new for us.
Pre-planned, and we know what they are. So we're not adding anything on top of what we already have planned, because there will be things that come up in the year, right, that are going to test us, and they're going to be exciting and new, and we're going to want to say yes. So we are committing yes to not.
I'm getting excited just thinking about new opportunities.
I started doing like expressive hand gestures when I was thinking and saying that.
Oh, what is it? Is it the adrenaline? I don't know.
Yeah, we love creating things. We're the creator type personalities, aren't we?
Okay, gosh. So looking toward the next 12 months. My goodness, exciting! It's really exciting thinking about what we're going to achieve the next 12 months. Have we got a theme? Should we talk about our theme for the year? How we want the year, how we want to feel? Some people call it a word of the year, theme of the year. Whatever you call it. What's going to be yours this year?
Mine's going to feel like it contradicts what I just talked about, but I will explain it afterwards. My word for this year for us for the VA Foundry is leveling up.
Love it.
We have some kind of key things in the calendar this year. We have the summit, we have the awards, we have the scholarship. And this year is about, and we have the members club too, which we have some plans for leveling up. So not creating new things, but the things that we do have in the calendar, really leveling them up compared to last year when we ran those things. And Leveling Up Strictly Savvy too, my VA agency. So
Nice.
leveling up is the word for me.
Yeah, mine's nurturing.
Mm.
So nurturing what we're similar to what you've just spoken about, Jo. Nurturing what we've already got, what we've already planted, and from a personal sense too, like nurturing me and my soul and my mental health. Yeah,
Yes.
Nurturing, and even the kids. The kids, I haven't been there for them the way I'd wanted to the second half of the year due to everything going on. So I want them to feel nurtured by me again.
Yeah,
nurtured. That's mine.
So for you listening, what is your word for the year? Your theme? Something that you could stick on your wall, put on your vision board, stick a post-it note on your screen. What is going to be your word for this year? Yeah. I don't think I've ever done a word. A word is a new thing that I've learnt since we started our relationship together.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. All right. So a big thank you. Our listeners on this podcast are very, very important to us. We love hearing about where you listen to the podcast, that you listen to every episode that comes out. We love that we have committed a podcast every single week and we have delivered that for you in 2021, and we will continue to do that in 2022. So thank you so much for being in our community, and we wish you the most incredible 2022 where you can all make your dreams come true.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Jo VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the mastermind and the amazing resources, courses, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.